Add, yeah.
Okay, there we go. Now we're live, according to this.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Bourbon Note. I'm Greg.
I'm Ben.
And we're live and drinking bourbon. So
Cue the music here. So just making sure, as we always do. All right, yep, it is working. It is live. Send us a message if the mics are not working for anyone who is in here.
Yeah, it'd be great.
So yeah, we're doing another whatever Wednesday sort of live thing, and we'll explain this a little bit more in a couple minutes when people start to get in here. But in the meantime, let's pour some bourbon.
Let's pour some bourbons.
So these we have to, whatever order we set them down in, keep them in that order because they are all different. We're drinking some Broken Barrel tonight. You already have some of the regular.
Yeah, I have the big bottle.
Okay. All right. Ooh, 5 people already. People already in the comments. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Crossfire Recruiting.
Hey, I know who that is.
Oh, is that a stalker of yours?
That's yeah, she won't leave me alone.
All right. Like I said, we're going to get pouring here, and then we'll get to telling you exactly what we're doing. So this is the second one. So this is your second one. That's the third one?
Yes.
This one was in the middle of the original 3.
Okay.
So that's the third one?
Well, here, I know which order they should be in.
Okay. That one should correspond with your second of these 3.
Right.
So, right. Okay. Yeah, this should be right.
Okay. Yep.
Wait, no.
Why did you pour twice in that glass?
No, because I poured this one.
Uh-huh.
And then this one, I just poured this one. Can we rewind the stream and see? Let me see if I can go back.
I don't think you can.
I think we can on YouTube. Yes, we sure can. Okay. Entertain the internet. I'm going to go figure out which one I picked up.
Ben's going to figure out which one he poured. I thought I put them in numerical order.
Oh, you might have.
So that's why I think.
Okay. I'll have this figured out. So tell everybody what we're doing.
So this is Broken Barrel. It's a distillery that we did a review of, one bottle. Basically, they make a bourbon. Then they finish the bourbon by sticking a different type of wood in it. So it's kind of a double oak wood stave finishing profile thing. This barrel's really good. But Ben got these 3 sample bottles from a local liquor store that's looking at maybe doing a barrel pick. And so these are 3 different wood finishing profiles that we're going to sample and decide which one we like the best.
Correct. Okay, I'm almost here.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so I did pick the one on the right, and I put it in this glass.
Okay.
And so I think so I still have it in my hand on here. This is riveting live streaming, but I want to make sure we get these right because these are all very unique.
Yeah.
So I poured a little bit more into that one. So that's the middle one now. And now you have the last one.
Yep. So this is the one that I had.
Yeah. And so this middle one that I just picked up, or that I'm going to pick up.
So I think you need to pour this one next. This, because it's.
Oh, I think I moved it.
So here's the thing, though, Ben. Like,
yes.
You did a pour out of this one. These 2 have only had my pour out of it. I know this one's third.
Okay.
So this is your second. So this one's here.
It's almost like we should have just done that from the beginning. Yeah. That big old brain on Greg figuring this out. That's why I don't do the channel alone. I would have been here for a half an hour trying to figure this out.
Okay, that goes in the middle. This one goes there.
And this is especially important because these are all stave profiles.
And
did
unique.
You get to that when I was yapping?
So a couple of cool things about Broken Barrel bourbon. They put their mash bill on the bottle. I'm assuming it's the same mash bill for all of it because it is the same on all these bottles. 70% corn, 20% rye, 21% rye.
Mash bill is the same. I did check that.
9% malted barley. But the oak bill, which I've never heard of oak bill before this one is 40% ex-bourbon barrels, 40% new French oak, 20% sherry cask.
And so it's basically they take staves,
Yeah,
kind of like
chunks of wood. Yeah.
Makers does with their private selects and their limited releases. Throw them in the barrel to give a little extra flavor.
Yep.
So now, as Greg said, these are part of like a single barrel picking. And I'm not sure that the store is actually going to do a barrel pick.
I don't think they are, but
they gave us these just to have a little fun with them. And so we're like, well, we've been looking forward to trying them because the stave profiles seem pretty interesting.
So go ahead and go through the differences because they're similar, but definitely different.
I'll go through them now, but then we'll go through them as we drink them too. So this one, all the same mash bill, but the oak bill is 80% port staves and 20% French oak. Nothing too crazy. 75% rum cask staves and 25% ex rye cask.
Wow.
And this one is definitely going to be different. 70% peach brandy staves and 30% French oak staves.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I have a feeling these are going to be pretty unique.
Yep.
So let's check on some comments here. Dennis Pancake. Sorry, I'm butchering your name. Says, hey, gents, hello.
Hello.
Crossfire is laughing at us.
Yeah.
Are you Schlammer's in the house? He says, hey, guys, did you dig out yet? Yes, multiple times.
Yeah, I've...
For those of you that don't live in Minnesota.
Yeah, it's a snow apocalypse or whatever.
Yeah, it's been terrible.
So there was a rumor of a blizzard a couple weeks ago. It kind of hit the entire nation, and we really kind of avoided it. It wasn't that bad for us.
Yeah, believe it or not.
But this one, minor storm, and we're probably a foot of snow in the last day and a half. And it's nice. But it's starting to it becomes a point where the snowblower can't throw the snow anymore without just hitting the pile of snow and falling back.
Maybe that's just yours because yours is an electric snowblower.
It's inferior, I guess.
Let's see. Story time's in the house. What's going on?
Hello.
Hit that like, y'all. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
JT is in the house.
Synthesis.
What's everyone drinking? I got my hands on Old Forester rye. Oh, nice. JT, I remember you telling me that when I went on vacation, if I saw a bottle of that to bring you one. Unfortunately, I didn't see any bourbon on vacation. But that one they don't sell in Minnesota anymore, apparently.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that OF made a rye. That didn't seem to click.
Yeah, they do. Huh. They used to sell it in Minnesota, but they don't anymore.
Oh,
I've never had it. I heard it's good. So, hey, while we're talking about it, so go check out Storytime. It's Storytime. Shane, you can correct me on this and throw it in the comments. StorytimeDistillery.com, I believe. And we should actually just have him on at some point to let people know about that. Yep. But basically, you can purchase a membership to that, and it's a non-producing distillery, but they're doing their own whiskeys. And
you've got to try that first one. This is pretty awesome.
Are you going from the left?
No, I'm going this one.
Okay. And anyway, so you can go on there, and then that gets you in the club, and then you can purchase bottles when they come out. And they'll be definitely unique bottles because it's a smaller producer. Sugar Kitty is in the house. I don't know if we've had Sugar Kitty in one of our streams, but I recognize that from Bobby's and
others,
Sean's. Yep. Schlammered says I had no idea they made electric snow blowers.
So Bob, you live in the area. I don't know exactly where you live, but it's a Toro snowblower, 60 volt. I mean, it's the same battery that I put in the lawnmower in the summer, and it works fine. But I don't have to struggle with trying to get that thing started in the freezing garage.
Yeah, that's true. Mine plugs in, so. Sugar Kitty says lick the like and like the lick. Tastes like the barrel broke. That's awesome. Okay, so we've done a review of this before.
And it's coming across powerful today.
It's a strong
whiskey. It is 115 proof, and it does not feel shy about
it. Doesn't drink one proof point less than that. That's for damn sure.
It's got a really aggressive brown sugar.
Chocolate. It's kind of got dark notes to it, chocolate, and there's a lot of spice. Mm-hmm. A lot of barrel spice.
Leather and maybe fig. I mean, this is really good. It is a bit unique, and it's definitely finished. It's not just bourbon, but it is. It's got a great profile.
It's come off a little bit dusty to you as well.
I'm getting something else, almost like a. I was going to say walnut, but I don't know, some other flavor that's
there. Yeah, this is an interesting line. Now, I know they make a bunch of these. I only have the regular one, which is 95 proof. It's all right. Nothing fancy. I really do like this one.
That was 115.
Yep. And this one's actually available as one of their regular offerings. I think this is kind of they've got a rye and they've got the regular, 95 proof one, and they've got the cast strength one. Then they also have some different ones, some that aren't available in Minnesota, some that I'm starting to see. But I think this is just one of their kind of, you can get it anywhere products. So we're tasting that one because we're going to go along and see how these different stave profiles affect it. And it's not just, the maker's mark is like different kinds of wood and stuff. These are actually used barrel staves,
right?
Which is interesting. I've never had a rum cask finished
that
bourbon.
Should be a weird sweetness. Well, not weird in a bad way, but just unique, rummy.
Yeah, Alyssa told me up at Spirits, told me that rum cask bourbons are really good. Yeah. I think that's what she said.
Well, yeah, she must really have a thing for rum cask because she talked about a Basil Hayden rum finished one.
Yes, that's the one she said was actually like one Basil Hayden's that she said was like, that one's actually good.
She's
so you procured some new Basil
Hayden. I did. There are 2 new Basil Haydens. I went ahead and bought a dark rye and I bought that 10-year. So we're going to do more Basil Hayden on the channel. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Maybe even a whole flight of all their new interesting ones.
I feel like interesting is a stretch. But we'll see. Speaking of interesting,
all right, I'm
should we maybe get into this? Let's check out some more comments real quick. Gordon Murphy says, good evening. Good evening to you, sir. Storytime says, email me your number so I can get that over to you tonight. Oh, what are you sending over tonight? It's going to have to be a speedy delivery to get it here tonight.
I wonder what he's referring to. He has our
Or did Bobby fail to give you the address again? Because on the live stream, he had it. No, Bobby was actually vindicated that he did send it.
Yes, and I got an email from UPS or FedEx saying that he shipped it, and it'll be here tomorrow, actually.
Oh, okay, cool.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So this one that we're going to try first, provided we got these in the right order, is 80% port staves and 20% French oak staves.
Port and French oak.
Yeah, I'm going to do a little water, and there's water up there for you as well.
Okay. Oh,
just to make this fair.
There's no doubt in my mind there's wine. Like, this is very winey.
Yep. A little grapey.
Yep.
Sometimes the wine finished bourbons, and maybe this is just because a lot of the wine finished bourbons I've had are a bit youthful, but I feel like that wine can kind of bring a youthful, like the sweetness that it brings, in a weird way, almost kind of takes the edge off of the bourbon, which makes it feel a little more youthful, I think. It kind of softens the edges and smooths it out a little bit. Fruity a little bit. Wow.
There is so much happening on that.
Here's the thing, though. You know what's not happening on it?
Bourbon?
Is the 115 proof like on this one. And maybe I need another sip.
But I'm getting plenty of proof.
Really, that was like smooth.
It's got so much. It's definitely grapey. Like, there's no surprise that it's a port cask finished. You get the pepper from the proof point. A lot of barrel char influence. A ton of flavor. Like, it is just overflowing with flavor.
There's the proof a little bit. It's very flavorful. So now these 3, let's just pretend we're doing a barrel pick. That's how I'm going to treat these. Like, which one would I?
Sure.
Which one, if I was buying a barrel for a single barrel, which one would I pick?
Well, I mean, so far, having had this one now twice and this one once, I absolutely love this brand. Like, I am very impressed with it. It is absolutely finished, right? It's not just bourbon; it's finished.
Yeah, for sure.
But I really, really like it.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the wine cask one. So I'm
curious.
Would
you say it's freaking amazing?
It is. We're getting close to.
Okay.
We're borderline amazing at this point.
So let's sip these, nose them and sip them, and then we'll play around like going back and forth. Okay. Let's just kind of run through the lineup here.
And so
Troy and Lisa Toole say cheers, everybody. Well, cheers to you as well.
This oak bill on this one is rum cask, 75%, 25% X rye. So maybe vanilla on the finish of the rye, but the rum cask, we'll see where that goes.
There's an interesting. Yeah. Well, you said that this is probably going to carry some sweetness with it from the rum.
Yeah. Molasses-y.
Yeah, I was going to say like brown sugar, syrup, molasses. There's an interesting sweetness to this.
And like white flowers, kind of a floral thing. Maybe citrusy. Anyway, I'm gonna go for it.
Man, that's really interesting nose. Oh, I like that quite a bit. I like that better than the port so far.
Really?
Yep.
So I feel that this one is absolutely great. But I was gonna say the rum and the bourbon don't work well together. That's
Really?
not true, but it's noticeably two different groups of flavors. One of these is not like the other kind of thing. It's a blend of two things that aren't normally blended together. They're both good, but
I think you should try it again. Have you just had the one sip of it?
just one.
Yeah, give her another day in court here and see. Like, I feel like that actually kind of takes those. This is all like brown sugar sweetness. You know, I'm not getting much for fruit on the palate. I'm not getting in those darker chocolate notes. Oak is there, obviously, but this is like that brown sugar and molasses, you know.
There's something in there though that is a little bit. It's the rum influence, but it's hard to like pinpoint exactly what that flavor is.
Well, I hope the next one is the tiebreaker, because if we were trying to pick a barrel of this to do a bourbon note single barrel, we'd have to do a coin toss.
Well, I mean, I have a favorite so far.
Right, but our favorites so far are not the same ones. So we're in disagreement already on these.
And this is peach brandy casks, peach brandy staves, and French oak staves.
Yeah. Stephen Jaws is in the house, new Patreon subscriber. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Cheers. Need to grab a drink. I think Maker's FAE01 to keep with the wood finish theme. That's a great choice.
I think we're talking about doing a flight of the FAE01 and 02 and BRT01 and 02.
Yeah, we should actually.
That was last year and this year's, because there's some similarities, but there's a few differences.
Yeah.
So
Storytime says rum or rye with rum is amazing. So far, I like the rye staves and rum staves. A la Angels Envy Rye. Yeah, so I have not had that. I just haven't convinced myself to pull the trigger on. I did actually just see that.
Oh, wow.
For like $80 or something like that.
That is the one brand that
was at Costco. I think it normally runs like 100.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just really disappointed with that one kind of middle of the road Angels Envy, and so it would be hard for me to buy another one that wasn't super cheap.
I think that one's like 86 proof though, or 90 or something like that. I think the rum is higher, and I think it's meant to be a little more of a premium bourbon. It better be for
the price.
That price. All right, let's move on to, what did you say? 70% peach brandy staves and 30% French oak staves.
So I think peach should work well with with bourbon, but it may get stepped on by the bourbon. Like bourbon is definitely a stronger flavor, I would think, than peach.
Oh, cotton candy.
Oh, cotton candy.
Oak and cotton candy, believe it or not. Very interesting combination of flavors, but right away there's that sweetness. That fruity sweetness is manifesting itself in a very like artificial fruity sweet, and it just went straight cotton candy. Pink, if you're wondering.
I'm getting a little bit of sweetness, but it's hard for me to like, I'm not getting as specific of a note.
It's like, you ever, when you're standing by and they're making the cotton candy and you can smell it from the machine, I'm getting a little bit of that.
Side note, that's one of the world's greatest machines.
Yeah. Turns sugar into something even better than sugar.
Although, you know, I don't know the last time I've had cotton candy. I mean,
Hangin' AZ says the boys from Buffalo. Yes, that is us. What's up, Hangin' AZ?
Buffalo.
Good to have you in the chat.
All right, I'm going for it.
All right, cheers.
That'll be going home with me tonight.
Is that your favorite one?
And to be honest, I actually really, really like all of them. I would have no problem. I think this jumped to the top of my list for the next bottle I buy will be a Broken Barrel.
Yeah.
Finished. And so.
Well, they're all finished. That's their whole jam. That's why it's Broken Barrel. So yeah, they have the Hearsay Rye I've seen in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And they have the 95 proof, which was fine, but it wasn't knock your socks off. It's a basic offering. I think it's like $30. Mm-hmm. This runs around the 50 mark, I think.
But if this comes in different styles, right? If we can get the peach brandy cask version of this in that like 50-ish range, I would own a bottle of that.
I would buy a bottle of any of these.
Yeah.
because so I don't know. Maybe we have to find a place that's actually done a barrel pick. Maybe we have to talk to the source of these.
We need
see
to
if
have a
it's still
conversation.
Available for a barrel pick.
It sounded like there was a window and that window was closing, but let's see if we can reopen that window if you catch my drift.
Yeah, but so here's the thing. I want to go back and drink these back through the opposite direction now.
So you're going to turn around the other direction.
Yeah, so I'm going to face this way.
Yeah.
I want to keep a running tally of how many times Greg uses that joke. I mean, it is hilarious. I mean, you can't get much better comedic timing and quality than that. So, all right. So I'm going to give.
Just trying to make the channel better.
Peach brandy. That is good. I'm not getting the cotton candy on the palate so much, but it does have like almost like a sweet tart sort of.
It has a flavor. Well, I'm just going to say it. And I say this in the best possible way. I'm getting toothpaste.
I'm quitting the channel.
It's almost minty.
Are you getting, okay, let me ask you this. Is it toothpaste that's been finished with peach brandy staves?
Yes.
And
yes.
French oak staves and then dipped in bourbon?
No, it's almost like a hint of a mint type note. And it's
okay,
very,
mint
very
is
subtle.
Something you can get off from bourbon.
But
I don't really usually get that, but
it's subtle. But I don't know, for whatever reason, I'm associating it with toothpaste today. And
that's not a great like endorsement.
Well,
hence
I know, but
the
well, we say
what word am I looking for? Why can't I?
Big red gum
Disclaimer.
Or
yeah,
you know, we get like it's just a little hint in that direction.
Interesting. I don't use regular toothpaste. I use cinnamon flavored toothpaste because I hate the taste of mint toothpaste.
Oh,
I don't mind the taste of mint, but I don't like strong mints like Altoids and stuff like that. And I hate mint toothpaste.
So
usually when my wife and I go on vacation, we just bring the one toothpaste. So I have to use the terrible mint toothpaste all week long. And I just hate it.
You know, all right. So I'm curious so I've decided, like all of the little like toiletry stuff, I take a little tube of toothpaste and I leave it there when we're done. Like I don't bring all that stuff.
Yeah, I think sometimes we'll bring like little mini stuff and then just chuck it.
Yeah.
So
right,
going backwards,
two,
have you done any water between these?
Waters for the week.
Another t-shirt we're gonna need to make. So now going back, and I might have to pour a little bit more because obviously at the end.
Well, there's not going to be any more because the bottles disappeared when I looked away.
I know they're getting. Oh, we got plenty. We got plenty to do the blend. Because let's be honest, nobody cares what we say about this because none of these are available to the public.
Sure, they are.
This is some Bourbon Note special privileges.
I'm guessing they sell these in each of these unique, wood finish styles somewhere. Like,
I bet they don't, because why would they do them as barrel picks then?
Oh, lots of people do barrel picks.
That's what I mean. So I bet you they don't just sell these as a regular offering. I bet it has to be a store pick of.
I wonder, because they are unique, right? I mean, they're special. So you may be right.
Have any of you guys? Oh, Wolfie.
Bourbon
is just crushing. He says bourbon has water in it. Mm-hmm. Not the good bourbon. Thank you. Any chance to prove Greg wrong on the channel is something I always welcome.
Well, you said, are you going to have any water? And I said, water's for the week.
Yeah, you said, no, bourbon's got water in it. So there you go. Especially your precious Basil Hayden has a shitload of it. All right. JT says, I don't think they actually offer them. Okay.
Thank you for confirming.
They are a finishing company.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to go to this one, and this was the Port Staves and French Oak. This is the one I thought was a little bit weak.
So I don't think it's weak. I just think the grape note is it gets old. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, it's an awesome flavor, but I don't want to have another pour of it. The rum cask, I would sit here and drink 2 of them. The peach brandy cask, I would sit here and drink 2.5 of them.
Sure. Yeah, these are all really good. I think this is the port one is my least favorite. Yeah. And it's not because there's anything wrong with it. If you just poured me a glass of that, I'd be perfectly happy with it. Mm-hmm. But comparing, and that's kind of what the whole point of this is. But now I'm going to go back to their original and see if they just figured out
Nobody
the best.
Saw that coming.
Yeah.
just to reiterate, this is 40% bourbon barrels, 40% new French oak, and 20% sherry cask. So you get maybe a tad wine.
Yeah, you get the sherry.
But much more mellow than the 70% or whatever that was. 80%.
What is that? Sorry. There's a
little bit of a grapiness on it now that
I'm getting something
vanilla.
that's so familiar and I can't figure it out.
I'm getting vanilla, actually.
A little Cracker Jack and
maybe creme brulee, like the caramelized sugar.
Boy, that just does have its own unique flavor profile, doesn't it?
You know what? The wine finish almost gives it a cherry kind of note.
A little bit. This is a really hard bourbon to describe.
Yeah.
I went back a long time ago before we did that 95 proofer. I went back to watch our original review of this because this is one we did first. And this is one of those ones where I kept saying, like, it's weird. Like, I can't figure it out. And I didn't say until the end of the video that I like it. And I liked it the whole time. I just didn't get to that point. I made it. If you just watch half of the video, you would probably think I didn't really like it the way I was describing it.
Yeah.
But I know that everybody watches our videos completely in their entirety. Nobody skips forward. Mike Meyer is back after his pizza. How is the pizza, Mike?
Back after his pizza.
Made it tonight. Sorry I'm late. Major, it's better late than never. So Major G is in the house from Hayes.
Yeah. Hello.
All right. Steven says, holy cow, Broken Barrel is located in Los Angeles.
Seriously?
We'll have to check it out since I live fairly close. I've never heard of that brand. Oh yeah, you definitely have to check it out. There's an Instagram account that I follow called Sunset Whiskey, and he does regular things where he'll just go to liquor stores and take pictures of the shelves and upload them. And he goes to the same places all the time, but I always love seeing it. I love seeing what's on liquor store shelves in different places. So shout out to Sunset Whiskey. And he goes to a Total Wine in like Huntington Beach or something like that, I think. And I've noticed in his pictures that their Total Wines carry a lot of the Broken Barrel brands that I don't see here.
Okay.
So, Steven, since you're in that area, check out a Total Wine if you've got one nearby, and hopefully they'll have the same sort of selection, so you can check that out.
Yeah.
But it's a unique bourbon. Like if you're in the mood for like a Wild Turkey 101 or an Old Forester, this is not your bourbon. But if you want something different,
it's aggressive in a good way. I really like them. I guess they are a tad unique. Like if this was like you went on vacation, this was the only bottle you bought, you may get a little bit tired of it.
Yeah, because it doesn't. It's like having a bourbon, but maybe it doesn't scratch the itch of just like like I said, if you're in the mood for a Wild Turkey 101 or a Buffalo Trace or something kind of down the middle, this is not that.
It's not. In some ways, it's too much of a kick. In some ways, it's the flavors are they're unique and they're good, but they're not bourbon-y totally.
Well, we've said this about a lot of whiskeys. This is something you pour for a whiskey nerd friend of yours who would be interested in exploring a different flavor profile. So I hope you like it now that we recommended it. JT says their other products are pretty good too. I have, like I said, we've had the 95 proof, but haven't had the rye. Mike Meyer, have not had any Broken Barrel yet. Well, they are available. Because I know Mike's in Minnesota.
He is in Minnesota. Well, we don't know that at this moment. We're not stocking, but occasionally he's in Minnesota.
Never met a pizza I didn't like, right? You should start a pizza review channel.
Who said that?
It's good. It's good. Steven says, I was just at the Total Wine in Huntington Beach this morning. Still never noticed the Broken Barrel. That's weird. What are the odds of that? Well, unless you live in Huntington Beach, but what are the odds of... There's some other store, Steven, maybe you can comment on this, that he takes pictures of too. It's like, it starts with an H and then there's a dash and like the letters are kind of weird. And he always takes pictures in there because they have this glass case where they have like Pappies and they've got BTAC stuff and it's all for thousands of dollars.
Well, they sell actual alcohol in grocery stores in California too.
Right, yeah.
So you may find it at a Safeway.
Sure, yeah. They don't do that here.
Right.
Mike Hunter. Is Mike Hunter new to the chat? I'm always going to ask this when I see a name I don't recognize.
I don't recognize it.
Mike, are you new to the chat? If you are, welcome. If you're new to commenting in the chat, thank you for doing so.
Yeah.
I picked up 2 Broken Barrels at Broadway Liquor Outlet in Minnesota. Sweet. Did you taste them yet? And did you like them?
Broadway Liquor. Where's that?
I would imagine it's on Broadway.
I don't know where that is.
Well, it runs quite the distance in the Minneapolis area.
Oh.
So I'm going to put a tad more. Well, okay, so I'm going to put a little bit more of these to make them a little more even. Do you want me to save some in here so you can take some home?
I'm just messing with you.
Okay, that's the middle one that you have.
Yes.
I'm watching this like a hawk now, so we don't have to do
instant replay
like we did at the beginning of this. And this one we can just keep pouring. But you know what? I think that even though this is not a common brand, this is available nationwide as far as I know.
Well, we know it's available in California and Minnesota. That's all there is, right?
And that's all that matters. So I think when we do our 115 proof or 115 area proof points, I think this deserves a spot in the flight.
I don't remember what else I have that's 115.
Old Forester 1920.
Of course, I knew. Well, are we going to do the blend and make it fit?
We're going to make it fit.
The 1910 and the 1920
Oh. Well, the 1910 is 90 proof, so it wouldn't be in that. But if you want to see, I don't know if any of you guys have seen our Old Forester 1915 video. A while ago, it was kind of trendy to do what's called an Old Forester 1915, where
you mix the two.
You mix Old Forester 1910 and Old Forester 1920. It is excellent. And so to do that, we filmed a little skit before.
By we mean.
So I filmed a full-on sex scene between the 2 bottles. I still have the dog collar over there that
you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I put the bottles in various positions and blurred it. And at one point, one of the bottles was wearing a ball gag.
Yeah, it's disturbing.
It's one of the better videos we've ever put out. I would actually just re-upload it, but we got a copyright strike on it or a copyright claim, so I'm trying to keep those to the minimum. So yeah, if you're interested in seeing our porn that we filmed with 2 bottles of bourbon, I should probably preface that it was the 2 bottles of bourbon in the porn.
Yeah,
because that could have gone a lot of different ways. Yeah, just go check that out.
Yeah, 1915.
High Time, yes, that's what it's called. Costa Mesa.
Was that
That's so weird that just to reference that channel and
Valentine's Day? Because you had roses, but maybe it was just.
I think that was just for the romance, because the one bottle was nailing the other one. Are you slammered? Sorry, guys, got to jump. Hey, thanks for jumping in to begin with. Steven says, High Time has great whiskey selections. It looks like they do, because he takes pictures of it looks like they keep a lot of cases of whiskey, and they'll have some of this, the Henry McKenna, and they'll have cases of it stacked up. And a lot of their prices seem fairly reasonable. It just pisses me off when liquor stores do that. Grab the allocated stuff and Blanton's for $250. At that point, I stopped shopping at that store altogether. Yeah. So High Time has great whiskey selection, but they do have the secondary pricing glass cabinet. We have was there this morning too. That's so cool. So do you know Sunset Whiskey?
Maybe he is Sunset Whiskey.
Wolf E says, I've seen it in North Carolina. I'm assuming you mean North Carolina too. Haven't tried it yet though.
Maybe it's Northern Kentucky and he's just a bad speller.
Could be. Mike Hunter says the peach says.
Wait a minute, you live in Georgia. What are you doing in North Carolina? Maybe
he lives in North Carolina. I think.
Wolfie, maybe it's North Carolina.
Mike Hunter says the peach says produced and bottled in Owensboro, Kentucky. Okay, so do you have a bottle of the peach and French oak? That might answer our question if these are only store picks. Oh, Dennis Weedman is in the house. I have an Old Forester decanter I use specifically for 1915. That's awesome.
They don't make 1915. You have to make it yourself.
That's I think the decanter part comes in handy. So you pour them both in.
Makes sense.
All right, so I'm going to go with just the 3 other ones. I'm going to make my final judgment on these 3.
The final judgment. Don't be so judgmental.
Damn it, now that port one is tasting better. Are you looking for the regular one?
I was just wanting to see what it looked like on the, they said where it's from.
No.
Batched and bottled in Owensboro, Kentucky. That's the same as that other big bottle.
So there's not two broken. Well, sometimes you get a brand and they're sourcing from different places.
Yeah, that could be.
But that's batched and bottled. It doesn't necessarily say it was distilled there.
Yeah, nobody knows.
Steven says, I don't know Sunset Whiskey. And it is North Carolina. So yeah, Steven, follow Sunset Whiskey on Instagram because since you're in the same area, he's always posting stuff from liquor stores. And most of the time it's the same stores, but I think you'll throw in a Costco there once in a while. And
Ben's really working on his trying to hook up people who are interested in whiskey for some odd reason. You can follow him if you want. Don't follow him if you want.
I'm just saying, like, oh, man, that's... You live in the same town and the dude posts regular posts of your local liquor stores. I'd follow that. This is what I'm finding is I'm liking all of these more and more as I'm tasting them, and I'm getting very different experiences every time I taste them.
They're absolutely unique.
Now, that's also, we've tasted a few of them now, and so it's going to obviously influence.
Mm-hmm.
I am going no water. I'm raw dogging it at this point.
Water's for the weak.
Ah, there's that cotton candy again. Oh, no, you know what? It's cotton candy-ish, but you know what it is?
Toothpaste?
Pop Rocks.
Pop Rocks.
I know we've had experience with bourbon and Pop Rocks on this channel. If you haven't seen that video, check that out.
Blending bourbon and Pop Rocks.
Go back to the peach finished one and tell me you don't get some Pop Rocks in there.
Cherry-ish?
Yeah, there's like that. It's artificial fruit candy, and it's the pink Pop Rocks.
Well, that's strawberry, but I'm not getting strawberry.
That's what it is. It's less the cotton candy that I called out before because I knew it was something sugary and fruity. It's Pop Rocks.
Okay.
That's awesome. And since I got my ass kicked by the Pop Rocks in that video.
He had a Pop Rock explode and it was life-changing. It was awesome.
I'm going to go the rum cask one first. The port one has grown on me quite a bit. And so now it's kind of a tie for second between those two. Yeah.
That surprises me.
Yeah. These are all really good.
Even this one is really, really good. Like, I genuinely am impressed with them. And so if, who's still here? Is Dennis from Minnesota?
No, Illinois, I believe.
Yeah,
Sorry,
right.
Dennis, if we gave away your location.
Well,
I mean, Illinois is a big place.
It's a big place. Mike, so does anybody know where we can find these in Minnesota? Or do you know? Because you're
I do.
out occasionally.
I've got the bead on it.
Besides the one place where these came from?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Because I'm really interested in trying another.
Yeah, so
like
this
a store pick one or whatever.
This brand, I've never seen a store pick in Minnesota, but this brand in Minnesota is one that not every liquor store carries.
Definitely agree.
Not because it's hard to get or anything, but just it's a different brand. Not every liquor store chooses to carry it. So yeah, there is some of that out there. Mike Hunter says bourbon whiskey finished in peach brandy staves. So is it just peach brandy, or is it also, because this one is 70% peach brandy, 30% French oak? I would imagine there's a whole bunch of different. These just happen to be.
I would like to think they are doing smaller, like a barrel or a couple of barrels, and they have a bunch of different styles of finishing. But I really like them.
Here's the thing. So, and we've learned this from talking to the fellows from the Wright County Whiskey Club. When you do a barrel pick and you're not on site doing the barrel pick, they'll send you a sample of 3 barrels.
Yep.
And so maybe they just said, here's a random 3 stave profiles we offer. And maybe there's, another store got another random 3 profiles to keep them unique.
So I one time participated in a store pick from Buffalo Trace. And Buffalo Trace sent us like 3 bottles look just like this, except Buffalo Trace logo. Mm-hmm. It was the A, B, and the C.
And you never bought a bottle of that actual store pick?
I didn't. It's a weird story. Like, I wasn't the biggest bourbon fan back then. This is literally probably 6 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I was more into Scotch.
Friend that owned the liquor store.
Yep. And so we picked the B or whatever was the one we liked the best. And it was good, but I never went back and got a store pick of it.
This one keeps getting more interesting every time. I feel like this is just a brand of bourbon that's like a chameleon. It just changes as you're drinking it, which makes it even more interesting. Mm-hmm. Now I'm getting like some marshmallow. Still that Cracker Jack note a little bit.
I was almost thinking I got strawberry that time. Interesting.
All right, let's catch up on some comments. Wolf E says, thanks for the water is for the weaker, bourbons. I would agree. Steven says we'll have to check it out. Thanks. Yep, you're welcome. Check out. It's a good page. Okay, so Mike Hunter commented back, 55% peach, 45% oak. So
that's your bottle?
Yeah, so that's his.
And this one's 80-20, right?
70-30.
Oh, 70-30. The other 80-20.
Yeah. Jeff, is that Sly? I think I'm reading that correctly. It's very small on our screen. Hello, everyone. Hello to you. I don't think we've seen you in the chat before. So what are you? What?
You don't need to insult him.
Talking about the text, Jeff. Steven says, it's funny about High Time. I bought my first Stag Junior there 2 years ago for 80 clams.
Wow.
That's awesome. But now Stag Junior was in the glass case for over 200. That's what that's what makes me so mad about that.
You know, he's from California. He may have actually been walking around with 80 clams in his pocket.
Yep, pronounced Sly. You got it. Thanks for the welcome. Well, absolutely. Thank you for being in here. We love it when new people show up in the chat. New people show up in the live stream.
Yep.
So, hey, by the way, we usually try to, sometimes we go a little longer. We usually keep these at about an hour. So for those of you watching right now.
Why are we going to cut off at an hour?
Well, so just because that's kind of our normal time anyway, but also Steven over at Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans is going live at 7 o'clock Central Time. So as soon as ours ends, because we'll probably end this at about 7, our time.
What about Minnesota?
Let's see. I know in Minnesota you say bucks. That's true, yes. Is that just a Minnesota thing? They can't just be Minnesota.
I grew up in California, though.
I have heard clams. Yeah, Greg is actually from California, but the northern part.
I'm not from. I grew up in.
Well, right. But
it's complicated.
When did you move to California?
When?
Yeah, like how old were you?
4.
Okay. And then you lived there until you were?
18.
Okay, I would say you grew up there.
Okay.
The 1 through 3 years in what, Texas?
And Illinois, actually.
Jeez, how many places have you lived? Every time, like, how many years have I known you? And every time we talk about this, there's a new state. So Texas, Illinois, California, Alaska,
Florida,
Idaho, Afghanistan.
Yeah, I think that could be it.
Because Afghanistan was a long time, right?
5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
Good Lord. I was going to say 2.
No.
Every time we talk about that story, we're drinking. So if you tell it to me another 7 times, I'll finally get it right. All right, so I'm going to drink the original one down just far enough. But actually, I'm going to blend the 3 single barrels first and taste that before I add the OG banger here.
All right. For those new to the channel, this is what we call the Benny Walker Special.
Yep.
Invented by
Greg Welch.
Benny Walker.
So what I was saying is Steven over at Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans.
For the okay, go ahead and finish that.
Is going live at 7 o'clock Central Time, which is when this will end. So if you guys want to keep checking out live streams, go to Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans on YouTube and check out his live stream. He always does a good job too. So send the traffic his way after you're done watching this one for sure.
Totally. More shenanigans.
Yeah.
So we don't know age on these. They don't publish age. So they're youngish, but they don't drink super immature, super young.
No, not at all. The stave profile.
Each of these is 115 proof though. So at this point we have 315 proofs. That is 345 proof.
Math. Look at that. I nailed it. When it's easy math like that,
so
I can do it.
There's a small chance Ben could catch on fire here.
Yeah. It's like if I walk out in the sun without sunblock.
Yeah.
I catch on fire.
And I'm willing to take that chance.
I bet you are, Greg. Was it last week you were willing to gamble with my money and now you're willing to take the chance that I'll start on fire?
Subtle hints.
I'm willing to take the chance that I'm going to start editing you out of our videos. Next time you say something questionable on a video, you're just going to fade away.
That'd be awesome.
I'm just going to stand here and smile. So are you going to give any nosing notes or are you just going to pound?
It's hard at this point to like figure out what kind of nose, because it smells like grape and peach and rum.
Yeah, it's got some fruity stuff. It's got that marshmallow is coming through that I was getting on
I think it's still just
the regular one, but that's not even part of the blend now. Chocolate.
Fruit salad.
Ooh. Two horrible things mixed together, fruit and salad. OG Brick 420 is in the house. Says, cheers, fellas. JT, I think the bottles say aged at least 1 year. Does it really? I thought these were like a 3-year.
They don't look like super.
Hang on a second. I got to refer to these glasses again, which my dad gave me for Christmas and have turned out to be absolutely amazing. Does it say entertain the internet while I'm doing this?
I think you're entertaining what's left of our audience with
our audience numbers are stronger than ever right now.
Yeah, thank you for watching.
I mean, they're about to take a dive, but so it doesn't say that I can see barrel with age. The truth's in the barrel age with staves. I'm not seeing anything as an age statement on this.
And it doesn't say Kentucky Straight, right? I'm sure it doesn't.
No, I don't think it does.
Corn, rye, and malted barley. American made. Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey.
Does it really?
Mm.
So we are rocking 4 years if there's no age statement.
And finished with Broken Barrel staves.
Okay.
So we're,
I didn't see an age statement, so this could be 4 years. Well, it has to be if they're unless it's hidden on there in very, very fine print. But I feel like the glasses would have taken care of that. You know.
So we're talking 4 years, and to be honest, it looks like decently aged from the appearance, and I'm not getting the youthful note on the flavor profile. So it could actually be 4 years.
This blend is pretty good. Good people of Broken Barrel Bourbon Company. Take some of your single barrels that you do like this and blend them together and see what happens.
I disagree. I think they're unique, and I'm really impressed with these two.
So you don't think that they should? So have you lost a little love for the port wine now? Because that was like right away you were.
So I genuinely liked it. I still like it. But here's what I would say. There are plenty of port wine finish bourbons.
True. Yes.
And this drinks like a port wine finished bourbon.
Yep. I would agree with that.
Which is a good thing. But we can kind of find this flavor elsewhere. I don't know if I've ever had anything else rum finished. Maybe once. And the peach brandy cask. I don't think I've ever seen
that anywhere.
These are very unique, and I love them.
So do you have a first, second, third?
I feel like the peach is my favorite, but I would not drink it very often. The rum is easy drinking, and that can be an everyday drinker.
But you like the peach a little more because it's unique and it's a different experience.
But it's sweeter and richer, and so you probably not drink it as often, I think.
Okay.
And then and again, there's nothing wrong with the port cask one. I like it, but
I agree. I would put the port cask in last place just for that reason that you said. Now, that being said, that there's plenty of port casks out there. I feel like their distillery, or I don't know where they're sourcing this from or whatever, but the staves that they're putting in, definitely, it's like the other port wine finished stuff that you can get, but with a little extra signature of their kind of flavor profile, because there is something consistent between all four of these.
Totally agree.
And I like it. I think this is a brand to watch for sure.
So we've said before that Wild Turkey seems to have all their flavors turned up to 11.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're in that category.
Yes.
Their flavors, it's the same notes. They tend to be on the sweeter side, but they're really like prominent, where occasionally you have a bourbon that is a little bit more subtle, but
there's nothing subtle about any of these. The first sip I took off the port one was very smooth, but I think it's just sometimes you had a couple sips off of another 115 proofer, and you got the second sip I took of it was the proof came back. There is definitely nothing run of the mill about these bourbons. That's why I like this brand. So I think I would say Broken Barrel is a brand
that I'm looking for on the shelf.
Yeah, to look forward to.
So if you're
try stuff out,
don't buy it, leave it.
Leave the rest of it for us. No, actually, seriously, check this out. Absolutely. I would recommend it. If nothing else, even if it's not your jam, being that it's such a unique flavor profile, they're like $50 for the cask strength ones. I mean, come on, $50 for a cask strength bourbon that the Bourbon Note recommends. You can't go wrong.
I mean, but it is a little bit of a unique, like you're not, this is not an everyday drinker or even like an every weekend thing. It's when you want to have a unique,
a different bourbon experience.
Yeah.
Or to share with your whiskey nerd buddies.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this definitely deserves a spot in the 115, mid 110 to 120 proof, whatever we decide for the proof points episode.
Okay.
Deserves a spot in that.
Okay. Yeah, I really like it.
Now, I don't know how it will do because just the uniqueness of it might set it so far outside of the realm of...
Who knows? I'm trying to remember what else do I have. It's 115. I know there is something, but it just isn't clicking.
I'm kind of wondering if for that episode we have to go like 110 to 100.
Because the maker's marks are 112.
That's what I was getting at. Yeah.
What else is right in that range?
And I think the ones I have are like 109.
Well, some are
110.
110.
109. Yeah. I mean, so there's. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out, but that's for another time.
Yep.
So let's check in on some comments. We've got a few here. Shredword is in the house. Got to see Shredword for just a second on a live stream I was on with. Were we both on?
We were both.
Yeah, we were both on that one. Shredword popped in.
I think that was Bobby's live stream.
Yep, I think it was. So Shredword, cheers. Yeah, that's when we invaded Bobby's live stream, and then Sean showed up. Yep, yeah. And then Shredword showed up. Yeah. Bobby was just getting ready to cash out his live stream, and we were on there for an hour. Do you realize that? It went by like, I thought we were on there for maybe 20 minutes. And yeah, so that was a lot of fun.
Not tonight, unfortunately. It's a school night, and I gotta.
It was a school night last time too. Gordon Murphy says $50. Are you talking about for these?
Yeah.
Major G tickled the like button. He remembers. He's seen the videos. Tickle. Give it a light tickle.
You're just a little too good at that.
Sure am, Greg. I don't even know which avenue to take with this. You ever been faced with like one of your friends just sets the ball right on the tee and you're just like, you know what? This is too easy. I'm walking away from it. That's what just happened. All right. Jeff Sly says, I think the finished bourbons, in quotes, they can't have an age statement. Think they can say that it's bourbon finished in. So I think here's how that works. They can be age stated. I guess I don't have one that's age stated.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
So for example, this Wild Turkey Masters Keep Revival, which is outstanding, amazing. Yep. Yeah. This is finished. In the description, it says between 16 and 18 years because it's a blend of different barrels.
Yep.
Or between 12 and 16 or something like that. There are probably some age stated bourbons out there that are finished in wine casks that I'm just not thinking of. But I think it's more, you're right in the sense that they have to say that it's bourbon finished in.
Yes.
You can't
just call it bourbon.
Yeah, you couldn't release this and just say it's straight bourbon whiskey.
Right.
Without including that this is finished in some secondary thing.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure the legality on the age statement, but yeah, you can't do that for sure. I could be wrong though, it's happened before. I doubt that. You seem like a smart guy. Gordon Murphy says, yes, if no age statement finished or not, must be 4 years old for bourbon. Interestingly enough, not for bourbon, but for straight bourbon. Just bourbon that doesn't say straight bourbon can be aged
1 week.
1 week. It can be aged 30 seconds.
Well, yeah.
But if it says straight bourbon, has to be at least 2. And if there's no age statement, has to be 4. I don't know why they insisted on making it so complicated.
That's such a weird, yeah.
So, for example, like the ancient age is straight bourbon whiskey, but it says age 36 months on it.
Right.
So they didn't have to. So they did have to put the age statement on. I guess they didn't, but then people would assume that it was 4. And
well, I'm sure it is only 3 years, and they had to be honest. So.
Oh yeah, so it's less than 4, so they had to put it on there. 4th bourbon tonight, so excuse that.
But they're
thanks, Gordon. Still a noob here, but getting better. Are they talking?
Wait, so you've done your 4-bottle blend, right? You added this
one?
Yep,
yeah, absolutely.
So we're up to 460 proof.
Yeah.
Can I borrow a lighter from anybody? I'm kidding.
Do I have one down here? We do have those Jack Daniels over there. So yes, to reiterate, straight bourbon has to be at least 2. If it's under 4, has to carry an age statement.
This added chocolate to that blend.
This is a very chocolate forward bourbon for sure.
There you go.
Or 5 seconds as you know what, the Pabst Blue Ribbon is actually what came to mind when I
I
was saying
know this reference.
And that's the lawmakers and thanks to the lawmakers for making everything clear as mud. Absolutely, Jeff. That's the deal. So there is a whiskey, and I had a chance to buy this. It was $15, and I don't know for the life of me why I didn't do it.
Okay.
This is before the channel, maybe. Pabst Blue Ribbon makes a whiskey.
Seriously?
Yes. It's a white dog, so it's clear whiskey.
You know, I hate when you say that.
I know, but I will never say white dog without pronouncing it white dog. And it's so it's a clear whiskey, Pabst Blue Ribbon, but it actually does. I think it goes from the production line through a new charred oak barrel into the bottle.
Well,
so it literally is aged like less than 1 minute.
Does it say, so it says age 5 seconds? Is there branding or something?
I don't know if it actually says that, but that's what it is.
Okay.
And I've learned that from other channels.
Bourbon.
No, it's just called whiskey, but it legally could be called bourbon.
Ah.
So, okay, so will you grab the... This has been used as a weight to keep the lamp that shines on Greg's pretty face to make sure he's all lit up. There's a lamp right there, and this is used to hold that in place. So this is Georgia Moon corn whiskey. It says, first you swaller, then you holler. And this is a white dog because it is white whiskey. But when we did a review of this, I looked it up, and it said proudly that and it no longer carries this age statement for some odd reason.
Oh, that's right. Less than?
It said it was aged less than 30 days. So maybe they're aging this more than 30 days now, and that's why they took that off of there. Or maybe people just thought it was trash because it was aged less than 30 days. And when they look at a clear, fine spirit with particles in it like that, they assume that it's aged at least, a year. Who knows? But yeah. I forgot where I was going with that, but it's aged. It didn't say if it was new charred oak barrels. If that was aged in new charred oak barrels and the rest of it followed, distillation proof and barrel entry proof, followed the guidelines, that could be considered bourbon. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you can get a clear bourbon if you.
We actually had a 1 year bourbon, and it wasn't the worst thing ever. Like we expected it to be bad. It was kind of okay.
Mm-hmm.
I forget who that was by. I think it was a Total Wine brand.
No, it's a brand that my friend got me from Colorado. I need to drink more of this. I didn't open it for like a year. Aged 1 year. It's a small distillery out in Colorado.
But it wasn't bad.
Yeah. And then this stuff, since we're talking about it, let's do some educational stuff. Jim Beam, Jacob's Ghost. So this one, I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up, but it's not fully clear. It's kind of like an off clear.
It's yellowish. Very light.
But this is actually aged 1 year in new charred oak barrels.
So it's very light. Like it's surprisingly, maybe they filtered it. Is it filtered?
Well, so that's what I was going to get at. So this is aged 1 year. This is also aged 1 year. Yep.
And that looks like I don't know, very light.
It looks like a Windsor 7. The ice has melted into.
Like 7 Up and a little bit of whiskey or something.
Yeah. But it's clear distilled and then clear filtered. So I think they filter all the...
So it probably looked like this, and then they filtered all the color and most of the flavor out. But surprisingly, that's not the worst whiskey we've ever had.
No, it isn't. So there's actually a video of Freddie No tasting this and kind of talking about it. Mm-hmm. And so he says it's not an ordinary white dog because it's not just a non-aged, white whiskey. They age it for 1 year just to pick up the sweetness of the barrel, but then they filter the color out of it apparently on purpose. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of an interesting. I don't think they make it anymore, but
which is a shame because it's kind of interesting.
It is. I found this at a small town liquor store where they had a bottle of that and a bottle of that wild turkey spice, just
dusty.
Yeah, covered in dust. Bottles that were discontinued a couple of years ago, and that's what's fun about stopping into the small town liquor stores. So anyway, I'm going to finish this off, and I think we're going to finish the live stream off. Let's get to the comments here. OG Brick says, remember the Pabst? Oh, yeah, so he brought up the Pabst Blue Ribbon too. They ran it over with a wood stave, I think. That might be it.
Something about vodka.
Clear as vodka.
Yeah.
Steven says, so following your proof formula on mixed glasses, wouldn't the mix of 1910 and 1920 be?
Somebody gets it. You are correct. We even made that joke in that video.
No, because you're mixing the date on the bottle. We mix the proofs. So it'd be 115 plus 90. So 205. Is that right?
Something like that.
Did I do that right? OG Brick says, I hid that. If they use small barrels, 2 years can be plenty. Probably, yeah. We've actually had a couple of bourbons recently, like especially like the 5-year. I didn't know that's not like a under, but like when you want a really high quality bourbon, you want to get to at least like that 6 to 8, and maybe above. We've had some great MGP stuff that's been 5 years.
5-year. And it's like their 21% rye mash bill.
Yeah, they do some great stuff.
Really good stuff. They're saying
Scotch definitely has more leniency. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You can add like flavor and color to Scotch as long as it's a certain amount.
Well, you have to.
Wolfie says 93. Oh, 1910 is 93. Okay, thank you for the clarification.
Scotch needs the help.
I do have a bottle of it right here, but
probably offend a lot of Scotland enthusiasts.
Probably. All right, so it's now 7:01 p.m. So Steven has started his live stream on Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans. So when we cut this off, please go over there and check him out. If you're interested, check out the Patreon. We're sending out some new coasters this week to some Patreon subscribers. It's a bourbon note coaster. It's got a tasting wheel on the back with like flavors and stuff like that. There's some bonus content. You get the videos earlier. You can subscribe for as little as $3 a month, and that helps us out. What we're trying to do is maybe build up so we can start maybe doing some bottle giveaways and things like that. Because we do buy a lot of bottles because we do 3 videos a week.
Yeah.
Gets to be a lot, but we want to start doing
some whiskey that we can send out to people too.
Yep, exactly. So we want to start doing, one of the things that we're going to do soon is a game show. And we might invite our Patreon subscribers who wish to participate on to play the game show.
It's trivia.
They can win some Bourbon Note swag. And then we're also going to invite some other channels on who wish to participate to do the same thing. So yeah, if you're interested, check out the Patreon. Oh, Barrels and Bark, check this out. So Barrels and Bark just commented, gave it the thumbs up. He commented, Barrels and Bark, forgive me, I watched a couple of your videos today. I can't remember your name. But he commented on one of our videos, and every time I see like a comment that's from what seems like it might be a channel, I just go check it out. It's got a great channel.
Really?
Yep. Just kind of getting started. I think he's been around for a few months, if I remember correctly. I looked at the videos a little bit. But yeah, go check out Barrels and Bark because he's definitely off to a great start. So
cool. Thanks for watching.
I'd like to promote other whiskey channels for sure.
Totally.
So yeah, please go check that out, and then go check out Steven over at Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans, who should be live right now. The Two Rivers says, hello and glad to make the stream live. We're glad you did too. Unfortunately, we're just about to shut it down. We've done our hour.
That's right.
But again, if you didn't see that, go over to Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans and join that live stream. So with that being said, thank you guys very, very much.
Thank you for watching. Till next time. See you next time.
Okay, now I can edit. Cheers.